As a leader, how has that year impacted you personally as a leader?
Well, in some respects, it was a very hard year for many who were impacted by COVID, who became ill. And, so from a leader standpoint, I will say I could not have been more proud about how our company navigated that and still continues to navigate the pandemic. Because, for me as an HR leader, to have the company putting people and people's safety and health as the overarching priority on every decision that we were making, obviously made me incredibly proud to work for Applied Materials. And as an HR leader, it really elevated even more so how everything boils down to the people in our organizations, how they're feeling, what are we doing to support them, what kind of practices can we put in place. We instituted, like many did, a variety of different ways to connect with our people managers, to connect with our employees, to have live discussions with them about what was happening, different policies that we were implementing to enable bringing people back. It was in many respects, leadership is hard in good times. It's even harder in challenging times. And just so to have the privilege of working with the leadership, the executive team, and our CEO that I had, was a very rewarding experience. I always knew that we were going to make the right decisions, keeping the safety and health of our people at the very, the center of what we needed to focus on. And so, I don't know if I think about how did it change me. It certainly makes you really good at prioritizing. It's like all hands on deck, and how do we still get the other work done that needs to get done? So leadership, I feel like the HR leadership team that I'm a part of came together. A lot of connecting, a lot of collaborating, a lot of communication regarding what was happening, a lot of partnership with the executive team. I think it enhanced our internal practices around communications with people managers. I think this is a huge element of an organization that carries the weight of the world on their shoulders. Everything falls on them. I always feel like they are the front line, and I think it really reinforced how important the people management organization is within the company, and finding ways to answer their questions, to provide answers like, we don't know the answer to that yet, thanks for asking it, we'll do our best to answer it. It really built I would say a really incredible experience in partnership in terms of supporting the organization. So from a personal standpoint, I coincidentally had a trip planned back from Santa Clara to Wisconsin, where I had a home base. I moved to Santa Clara for Applied, but I still had a home base here. Both of my sons are in college in Wisconsin. And so I had a planned trip back literally days before the governor in California put the first shelter in place into effect. So I came back. I also, in February, before it really hit the U.S. in March, I got remarried. And anyway, long story short, I had some really good things happen. I was able to be working virtually. One of my sons was here. And so to be able to really connect with him and have that time was really special. And I know that's true for a lot of people out there. I was talking to one of my colleagues yesterday, and she was talking about how, obviously the COVID and the pandemic and the impact on everybody was significant and hard. She was incredibly grateful that she got to spend time with her two college-age students, two college-age sons, for a year. And, so I think there was a shifting for a lot of people, including me, in terms of what really matters in life when you can't see family members, when you can't go into the hospital to be with a loved one because of all the protocols, when you have, unfortunately, a family member who passes away, either of COVID or something else, and you can't have a funeral with people coming together to support one another. It was a really significant year on so many different levels. And so as a leader, I think man, my heart hurt for some of our colleagues who
Hmm.
were in those situations. But again, just, always looking up and
Hmm.
forward,
Hmm.
and looking at how do we come away from this even stronger than we were before. And I think that is absolutely our mission, is how do you leverage the lessons? How do you become an even stronger company? And how do you move forward? But you got to be flexible. Some of
Hmm.
our countries are experiencing some increases in case rates. Some of our cities are as well, and so being flexible, and it's been a leadership lesson in flexibility for sure.
So I think what you're saying reminded me of this interesting story. So I was talking to one of the HR leader of one of the largest manufacturing organization, and I was talking to him, hey, how has this year been to you? And he put it in a very interesting way. So, shall you know what? We talk about culture a lot, right? So we talk about culture like even before pandemic, whatever, right? It's just a cliche that we just talk culture and we understand. And so pandemic taught me something very interesting. So he taught me something like that organization also have something called spirit,
Hmm.
organizational spirit. So
Love
so
it.
so he said that when things shut down and we were manufacturing, I cannot imagine a manufacturing factory being off or a suite of factories being off. But then when you see people, and I'm also a human being, so I also panicked, right? I have a family I need to protect and all that. Sure, I pretend to be leader many times, but deep inside I'm 90% human and 10% maybe leader. And I said
Mhm.
when these things when your entire sort of city is collapsing all around you, you see co-workers behaving in a way that culture cannot explain, none of the education can never explain. I think what how you're describing, so saying that I realize that my org has something called spirit that I've never seen before, and I
I
think
love
it's
it.
pretty fascinating.
I love it. I think that's a beautifully chosen word, and it really expresses what I saw. And you know, obviously, India had some significant challenges with COVID in the very recent past, and to watch the spirit of the leaders and the
Hmm.
employees, what they did was heroic
Hmm.
in terms of supporting colleagues and family members. And that is exactly what you're talking about, is that spirit of coming together, overcoming impossibly difficult situations, and finding creative ways to support one another. And I mean, just heroic. I don't know how else to explain it. What our colleagues in India took on and did
Hmm.
to support one another, and amazing. It's true. Spirit's exactly right. I love it.